Jennifer Aniston has shared one of the most personal tributes yet to James Burrows, the legendary television director who helped launch Friends and shape decades of American sitcom history. Burrows died on Friday, June 19th at the age of 85. And one day later, Aniston described him not just as a director, but as a father figure who helped hold the Friends cast together through the hardest and best parts of their lives. The question now is why a man most viewers rarely saw on camera meant so much to some of the most recognizable actors in television. For verified entertainment updates without the rumors, subscribe to Startline Entertainment. The latest update came from Aniston's Instagram tribute, where she remembered Burrows with the nickname Papa Burrows and described how he watched over the Friends cast from the very beginning. According to People, Aniston shared photos from different points in their relationship, including a famous image tied to the pre-Friends Las Vegas trip Burrows organized before the show became a phenomenon. That detail matters because Burrows was not simply another director hired for a few early episodes. He directed the Friends pilot, understood the chemistry of the 6 young actors before the rest of the world did, and, by his own account, believed the show had the kind of spark that could change their lives. In his memoir, he recalled telling the cast that once the show aired, they would lose their anonymity. At the time, they did not fully believe him. History proved he was right. Burrows' family confirmed his death in a statement released June 19th, saying he passed peacefully surrounded by loved ones. Public reporting from People and the Associated Press did not provide a location or official cause of death, so the safest confirmed wording is that Burrows died at 85 and that his family publicly honored his life and legacy. What made Aniston's tribute stand out was not only the grief, it was the way she described the culture Burrows built around the cast. She said he taught them to love, respect, support, and protect one another. That is a major piece of the Friends story because the show became famous not just for jokes, apartments, and catchphrases, but for the believable bond among the 6 actors. Aniston's tribute suggests that Burrows helped establish that bond before the audience ever saw it. Other Friends cast members echoed the same theme. Matt LeBlanc called Burrows a true icon and said words could not fully describe his influence. David Schwimmer wrote that Burrows brought out the best in actors and made casts feel safe, like family. Lisa Kudrow also posted a tribute, connecting Burrows not only to Friends, but to the comeback, where their creative relationship continued years later. This is where the story becomes larger than one Instagram post. Burrows was part of the architecture of modern television comedy. The Associated Press reported that he directed more than 1,000 episodes across shows, including Cheers, Taxi, Friends, and Will and Grace. He co-created Cheers, directed hundreds of episodes of landmark sitcoms, and helped define the multi-camera rhythm that shaped TV comedy for generations. The Television Academy's own profile lists Burrows as a director whose career stretched from the 1970s until 2025. It also notes that he was inducted into the Television Academy Hall of Fame in 2006. That means his influence was recognized not only by actors mourning him now, but by the institutions that track the history of television itself. The Directors Guild of America also issued a statement after his passing. DGA President Christopher Nolan described Burrows as a legend and pointed to his more than 40 years, directing over 1,000 episodes. The Guild also noted that Burrows received its inaugural Lifetime Achievement Award in television direction in 2015. For a director who worked mostly behind the camera, that kind of recognition shows how deeply his peers understood his impact. For Friends fans, one of the most meaningful parts of the timeline goes back to 1994. Burrows directed the pilot and helped guide a cast that was not yet the cultural institution it would become. Before the show premiered, he took the cast to Las Vegas, partly because he sensed their lives were about to change. Years later, that story has become part of Friends mythology, not because it was flashy, but because it captured the moment before fame arrived. By 2016, Burrows was celebrated in the NBC special Must-See TV, an all-star tribute to James Burrows. The Friends cast appeared as part of that tribute, and the Television Academy also hosted an event where Aniston recalled the audition process that led to her role on Friends. Those earlier tributes, now read differently, because they show that the industry had been publicly saying for years what Aniston and her castmates are saying again now. Burrows was not just present for television history, he helped create it. The start line takeaway is this: Jennifer Aniston's tribute matters because it reveals the personal side of a professional legacy. The public record already shows that James Burrows had the awards, the credits, the historic shows, and the institutional recognition. But Aniston's message adds something different. It shows how a director's influence can live in the confidence of actors, the trust of an ensemble, and the tone of a set long after the cameras stop rolling. What remains unclear is whether Burrows' family will release any further details about private memorials or cause of death. As of the available public reporting, the confirmed story is his death at 85, the family's statement, and the wave of tributes from actors and industry groups. Anything beyond that should not be overstated. For now, Jennifer Aniston's tribute has turned the focus back to a quieter truth behind Friends. Viewers saw 6 actors become one of the most famous ensembles in TV history. But behind them was James Burrows, the director who saw the chemistry early, protected it, challenged it, and according to Aniston, made sure the kids remembered to take care of each other. That may be why his legacy feels so personal now, because for the people who worked with him, the laughter was only part of what he left behind.